Hey boys, Taylor and Randy. This is Grandpa, as you obviously can tell. Just in case somebody else watches this or listens to it or something like that, they know I'm talking to my grandkids. So, anyway, not just Taylor and Randy, but all the other kids as well. Not that they're a little younger and stuff like that, but anyway, Taylor and Randy, you guys are getting ready. Randy, you're in what, 7th grade? Taylor, you're a sophomore in high school? It's hard to believe. Hard to believe. But you're at a stage in life right now where you're getting to a point where starting to look around with life going, what the heck is it? Where am I going to go? What path am I going to go? You know, life is really complicated, or it can be. And if you don't have a real firm footing on the ground as to where you're going or what you're doing, you know, it's real easy to get waylaid. You know, there's a movie out, you probably saw it, Quigley. I love this statement. He says, I don't know where I'm going, but there's no sense in being late. So if you don't know where you're going, I guess you'll never be late, because you never know if you're going to get there or not, is the idea. So hopefully this tape will kind of let you know kind of where I am or what path I walked, and in hopes that you can alleviate and avoid some of the pitfalls in life that you're going to find, especially being that you're in Oregon. That is a real liberal piss point. You know, it's going into school in Oregon, and with all of the liberal teachers and stuff like that, it's real quick and easy to follow some of their leftist socialist thinking or ideas that are just not true. And so I wanted to talk to you about what it takes to, you know, to study, to think, and to sometimes think out of the box. As you noticed, being in my living room, I got over 450 books on religion. So I know a little bit about, you know, religion and what I've studied. Also, some of the inspiration that I've received and stuff in my life. 2 events particularly about what it was like in heaven. And once you kind of get an idea of why you're here, then it's a little easier to make sure that your moral content, your moral is on a path that leads you, rather than being just hit by traffic coming both ways. It's kind of like in life walking the gauntlet, you know, the old Indians and stuff like that. They would string a rope between 2 trees, and you would have to hold on to this rope and traverse through this line of women and men with sticks, and they would just beat the holy heck out of you, and hopefully you can reach the tree and touch the tree in which they'd stop. Life is a lot like that, you know, and it's real easy to let go and wander off, or just lay down and let them just beat the heck out of you. So the old football saying is that you know, winning is a habit. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. So if you start taking that road, you know, you're going to end up on the back side, or the dark side. Okay? So anyway, I wanted to explain a little bit about why we're here. Well, in heaven, there is a conflict between 2 sides. And when you're born, you kind of get a silver dollar, and you can either play one side or the other side. One is the truth, and one is the dark side. One is the light, one is the dark side. So you have this silver dollar that you could flip in the air and see which way you're going to go. When we were in heaven, we were given an opportunity to go with Heavenly Father's plan, and that is with free agency, liberty, and free agency, being able to choose. And then Satan's side was to convert that into, no, everything, I'll force everybody, and this is the liberal idea of socialism, I will force everybody to do what's right. And that's not the way it goes. So when we were in heaven, just before we got here, I had this inspiration that I was in heaven, and there's all my friends, and maybe you were there as well, I don't know. But I had this feeling that all of my friends were around us, and we were so excited about coming to Earth, and being born and coming to Earth and being tested, because we had been taught in heaven all these things, and now we can apply them once we get to heaven. We can prove ourselves with the different testing that we go through in life. And that's what life is all about here, is that test and making the proper choices. So we were getting ready to come to Earth, and before we came to Earth, we were given an opportunity to kind of choose what we wanted and where we wanted. Not exactly predestined, but we had some opportunities to choose some things. One of those things was our parents. We got a chance to choose who our parents were going to be. And so if all you do is gripe and complain about how terrible your parents are, buck up, buttercup, you chose that way. You chose that path. I chose that path. I chose my parents. And if I got a complaint, I chose that parent. You know, my kids have a problem with me. Sorry, folks. Buck up, buttercup, you chose. You were given that opportunity. I remember there was a girl, a very striking, beautiful girl that was one of my friends. And we were discussing how we were going to come and that sort of thing. And she chose that she was going to be born and have some sort of a problem in which she would live her whole life in a wheelchair. And I asked her, why do you want to do that? And she says, because I would learn so much more in a wheelchair that would give me the opportunity of being tested. And when I die and finally come to heaven, I'd have a better, resurrection or a better life after that because of all the things that I've learned. And I go, wow. I mean, and I met that girl here in life when I was in my early years and stuff like that, when I was helping the disadvantaged. I met her, and this whole inspiration came, and I just knew who she was and where she came, and she knew it too. We both connected with that same dream. So it's very important that you understand that we chose pretty much where we were going to be and what we were going to be, here on Earth. And now we come to Earth and we have this opportunity, and we're given this silver dollar as to, do we want to choose right? Do we want to choose wrong? Do we want the white side or the black side, or however you want to think about it? And the right side is the thought or the inspiration of liberty and freedom, God-given freedom and liberty, and you being able to work and have your property. Now Satan, on the other hand, he had a totally different idea. And that idea was to force everybody to be a philanthropist. Force everybody to give up all of their money, and he would disperse it the way he wants. And that's this socialist idea. And we'll talk about that. I would like to do 3 or 4 of these tapes for you to explain some of these things. But anyway, so here we have, this life and your choice. And it all boils down to what you study, what you put into your head. And it's so critical that the things that you study, and I've always believed that the things that you study will bring you knowledge, and that enough knowledge in a variety of subjects will give you intelligence, and that intelligence will bring to you the truth of all things, the real truth of a subject. Now you could study all these different subjects in life, one of them being religion, one of them may be whatever you want to do as a profession, or marine biology, or some sort of a mathematician, or something to do with quantum physics or something like that, like I did in college. So you study whatever you study, but make sure that you study and you have a firm foundation, that you know where you come from and why you're here, and that you have a moral compass to lead and guide you. So your studies will bring you knowledge, and that will bring you the truth of a lot of things. And that's intelligence. When all of these things compound into that, then you have intelligence. And the proper application of intelligence, when you apply that intelligence to things, that gives you wisdom. And that's what you need in order to fight this gauntlet. Now, we know in the Book of Mormon, we talk about Nephi, and he had this vision that of this rod in which people would hold on to, which is the gospel or the truth of all things. And they were walking down or holding on to this rod, very much like the Indians do with holding on to the rope. So they're holding on to this rod, and they're walking down this, and there is a fog, and a dark fog, and wet, and just gross blackness. And people that got into this fog, and that's pretty much what the world is, with all of these things that are around us that will pull you away from this moral compass that you need to have of right and wrong, and hold on to that. They will willingly let go, willingly, consciously let go of that, and they would drift off into all of these outer areas of BS that are in the world today. And I don't want you to do that. Hold on to your religious convictions and your religious compass, and believe in the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, whether you jump into the church or not, I don't really care. But just like your Uncle Zach, he has a good moral compass, and Joshua, and and Valerie and Soraya and your mom have a good moral compass. But they don't have to go to church every Sunday. But you need that foundation, and you need that education. So that's what I'm here to give you. And if you have questions, you can always talk to me and email me down the road or call me on the phone. You know that. But stay true to the gospel. Never hurt anybody as much as possible. And if you have to judge somebody, judge them upon righteous principles. And try not to defraud and live the 10 Commandments. It says, thou shalt not kill. And that's not quite true. Thou shalt not murder. And you can murder people by stopping their heart, or you can murder them by your words and your thoughts and so forth. And so have a good moral compass. Know where you are in life, and then stick to it, no matter what happens. And we'll go through the Templar type of things, with the swords and stuff. You need to become a warrior, like the rest of us are. Our ancestors, my ancestors, were Templars. And they fought for the religious freedoms and the poor and so forth. That's where you need to be. You need to become a warrior and be strong in your moral convictions. And I know you can. I love you too, boys. And so that's it for now. I don't want to bore you with a whole bunch more stuff. We'll have a few more videos. But anyway, God bless. I love you, boys. I love all my grandchildren and children. You know that. But hopefully this will help or give you some ideas that you can be strong. Be a warrior.